Imagine yourself with nothing, living on the streets, unsure of what the future holds. For many, and perhaps for you, this would seem like the end. But for John Paul DeJoria, it was the beginning of a life filled with great success. He went from being homeless to becoming a billionaire, and it wasn't by luck. He discovered a powerful secret to escape poverty, something that completely changed his life. In this video, you'll hear his incredible story and learn how he turned his struggles into opportunities. And the best part, you can do the same in your life and finally achieve prosperity and growth. John Paul DeJoria, co-founder of the iconic haircare company Paul Mitchell, began his journey with extreme challenges. He and his partner, Paul Mitchell, had a clear vision to create a line of high-quality haircare products that could revolutionize the market. However, what they lacked was something essential to bring their idea to life: money. They believed they had secured the necessary funding through an investor, but at the last moment, that person backed out. What seemed like the promising start of a great venture quickly turned into a nightmare, leaving DeJoria with no capital to begin the business. Without financial backing and with limited options, John Paul faced a brutal reality. He survived on less than $1 a day, forcing himself to find ways to save as much as possible. During this time, he even lived in his car for a while, a situation few can imagine, especially for someone with such grand ambitions. The daily struggles went beyond mere survival. It was a constant battle to keep his vision alive despite the lack of resources. In such a scenario, many would have given up or put their dream on hold, but for DeJoria, quitting was not an option. This was the first major obstacle he overcame on his journey, and one of the most significant. Living in extreme poverty and facing the humiliation of relying on favors or enduring difficult circumstances could have shattered his confidence. However, instead of giving in, he used this experience to fuel his determination. Each day spent living in uncertainty and without basic comforts strengthened his belief that if he could endure the worst, he could also rise and build something lasting. This ability to persevere, even at rock bottom, laid the foundation for the future success of his company and his personal transformation. If you're enjoying DeJoria's story and want to stay updated on the best videos to become a more prosperous person, subscribe to the channel right now and don't miss anything we post. Let's continue. Hitting rock bottom was one of the most transformative experiences for John Paul DeJoria. He learned that when there's nowhere left to go down, the only direction is up. When he found himself completely without resources and living in such adverse conditions, John was forced to change his mindset. He understood that in the face of extreme difficulties, it's common to feel defeated, but the real key to overcoming any crisis lies in how we face the problem. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" or "I can't do this," he started asking, "How can I overcome this?" This mental shift was crucial. When someone finds themselves in a desperate situation, the tendency is to focus on limitations, but DeJoria adopted a proactive stance, focusing on solutions no matter how small. He realized that even though he didn't have money, he still had his ideas and his ability to work hard. By changing his thinking from "I can't" to "How can I?" new opportunities began to emerge. This shift in perspective, though simple, opened doors to paths he hadn't previously seen. Every small advance became a significant step in turning his situation around. DeJoria taught that hitting rock bottom often brings an unexpected advantage: clarity. When you have nothing left to lose, the fear of failure decreases and the courage to take risks increases. He saw this phase as fertile ground for rebuilding his life, free from the chains that limit those who have much to lose. In this way, he began to see his challenges as disguised opportunities, where the only thing that truly mattered was his ability to move forward, with perseverance and creativity, regardless of the circumstances. During this difficult period, John Paul DeJoria discovered the transformative power of gratitude. Even on days when he survived on almost nothing, he recognized the value of the small acts of kindness he received along the way. A free cup of coffee, a cheap meal at a restaurant, or even words of encouragement from strangers made all the difference. These simple but meaningful gestures taught him a lesson he would carry throughout his life. Gratitude is a powerful force that can open doors and change the way we relate to the world around us. This lesson in gratitude not only helped him endure hardships, but also shaped how he would act after achieving success. Years later, when DeJoria was finally in a better position, he made sure to return to the places where he had received help. He went back to the restaurants where, during his most challenging phase, he used to eat while spending only pennies. But this time, he wasn't there to save money. On the contrary, he left generous tips, the biggest those employees had ever seen. For him, these small acts of recognition were a way to give back and keep the cycle of gratitude flowing. DeJoria always believed that success is not built alone and that, along the way, we are impacted by those who, in one way or another, help us move forward. He understood that being grateful is essential, not only because it keeps us humble, but because this attitude creates an environment of reciprocity. By practicing gratitude, he opened new doors and strengthened relationships, ensuring that even in the midst of his own success, he never forgot where he came from and all the people who contributed, directly or indirectly, to his journey. Resilience was another fundamental pillar in John Paul DeJoria's success. He knew that to turn his vision into reality, he would need to persist, regardless of the difficulties and rejections he would face along the way. Even with a quality product in hand, the start of his venture was marked by immense challenges. Without a large sales or marketing structure, he and his partner had to adopt a simple but grueling strategy, going door to door offering their products. Selling directly to beauty salons was exhausting and full of refusals. DeJoria faced hundreds of rejections, often hearing that his product wasn't necessary or that there was no room for new items in the market. However, he knew that failure would only be final if he gave up. Every no he received was seen as one step closer to a yes. His ability to keep going, even when things seemed difficult or improbable, set him apart. For him, rejection was just part of the process, and the real victory lay in not losing enthusiasm and confidence in his work, no matter how many doors were closed. This relentless perseverance was fueled by a clear vision of where he wanted to go. He understood that great successes aren't built overnight, and that each difficulty faced in the present would be rewarded in the future. John Paul DeJoria's resilience wasn't just a personal trait, but a life philosophy he carried throughout his journey. He believed that as long as he kept his determination intact and continued giving his best, success would come, regardless of temporary circumstances. This made him a living example of how perseverance is the key to overcoming any barrier and achieving lasting results. Even after achieving success, John Paul DeJoria never lost sight of the importance of maintaining simplicity. Contrary to what many expect after reaching financial success, he resisted the temptation to adopt a luxurious and extravagant lifestyle. From the start, he knew the focus should be on sustainable growth for his company, not the immediate satisfaction of material desires. He understood that if he spent his initial profits on superficial goods, he would lose the opportunity to reinvest in the business and ensure its long-term expansion. This philosophy was crucial to the continued growth of John Paul Mitchell Systems. Instead of channeling his resources into personal comforts, DeJoria chose to reinvest every penny he earned into product quality, marketing strategies, and expanding distribution. By doing so, he not only ensured the company continued to grow, but also solidified its reputation in the haircare market. The simplicity with which he managed his personal and business finances reflected his discipline and long-term vision, helping him avoid many of the common mistakes entrepreneurs make after early success. Moreover, he believed that maintaining a simple life allowed him to stay connected to his core values. Simplicity kept him humble and focused on what truly mattered, offering quality products and positively impacting people's lives. For him, true satisfaction didn't come from status symbols, but from the sense of building something lasting and meaningful. For John Paul DeJoria, simplicity also manifested in a fundamental principle. Quality is the foundation of any lasting success. From the beginning, he was fully confident that the product he and his partner created, Paul Mitchell Hair Care Products, was of excellent quality. This certainty is what kept him firm in the face of numerous rejections in the early days. He knew that if the product delivered on its promises, people would come back to buy it again, and salons would become loyal customers. DeJoria always stated that without a high-quality product or service, long-term success would be impossible to achieve. Believing in this, he wasn't just focused on making immediate sales, but ensuring that each customer had a positive experience. This vision shaped Paul Mitchell's philosophy from the start. Quality would always be prioritized above everything else. He understood that by investing in good ingredients and tirelessly testing each product, the brand would not only win customers but create loyal advocates. This unwavering commitment to quality allowed Paul Mitchell to gain respect and stand out in an extremely competitive market. In this case, the advice John Paul DeJoria offers is clear. If you want to build a sustainable business, the main focus must be on offering something so good that people will want to buy it again. Competition may be fierce, but when you have a product that genuinely delivers value, it sells itself. This obsession with quality was one of the reasons the company remained independent and thrived without relying on massive advertising or aggressive partnerships. One of the most powerful lessons John Paul DeJoria shares with new entrepreneurs is the importance of believing in yourself, especially when the world doesn't seem to see the value in what you're doing. In his own experience, he faced skepticism not only from investors, but also from friends and acquaintances who didn't believe his business could succeed. The reality is that, at many points, he found himself completely alone, supported only by his own conviction. In this scenario, believing in his abilities and the potential of his product wasn't just a motivation, it was an essential survival strategy. This self-confidence, however, didn't come from ego or the absolute certainty that things would work out. On the contrary, it was built from perseverance in the face of difficulties. For DeJoria, believing in yourself meant moving forward even when the circumstances looked discouraging and, more importantly, even when no one else saw what he saw. The belief in his work and his vision is what kept him knocking on doors that kept closing, confident that sooner or later someone would say yes. This unwavering faith kept him on track and prevented him from giving up despite the repeated rejections. John Paul DeJoria always believed that genuine success comes from doing what most people are unwilling to do. He knew that the easy path rarely led to great achievements, and that the real difference lay in the sacrifices few are willing to face. From the start of his journey, he adopted a relentless work ethic and absolute commitment. While many avoided challenges or gave up in the face of rejection, DeJoria was willing to put in twice the effort, knock on more doors, and hear more no's than anyone else. This unwavering commitment involved personal sacrifices that most weren't prepared to make. Working late, waking up early, and persisting when everything seemed to be falling apart, these were actions he believed built real success. He recognized that most people want success, but few are willing to endure the discomfort and pressure that come with it. Many avoid the long hours or the emotional toll of continuous failures. However, for DeJoria, the key was going beyond the comfort zone. He knew that extraordinary results could only come from extraordinary efforts. He always emphasized that success is not just the result of talent or luck, but of being willing to do what others won't. This ability to take on responsibilities that few wanted, to persist when everyone else was giving up, is what set him apart in a competitive market. Throughout his career, DeJoria proved that those who are willing to go the extra mile, work harder, and endure more obstacles inevitably stand out from the crowd and reap rewards that few can achieve. Now DeJoria will talk about the true meaning of wealth. But before that, are you enjoying these insights? If you're feeling inspired by this great man's story, comment, "I am inspired to change my life." When I see your comment, I'll make sure to reply and congratulate you for being someone committed to your future. Let's continue. When asked about the true meaning of wealth, John Paul DeJoria often surprised people by detaching the concept of success from money. For him, being rich went far beyond the numbers in a bank account or the accumulation of material possessions. Although he had built an enviable fortune, his concept of wealth was rooted in something much deeper: happiness and health. In a conversation with his son, DeJoria explained that the real value of wealth lay in being satisfied with the life you lead, feeling fulfilled, and having a healthy connection with family and the people around you. He believed that while money can provide comfort and security, true happiness and inner peace come from areas often neglected in the pursuit of material success. His definition of wealth involved a balanced life, where quality time with family, physical and mental health, and personal satisfaction played fundamental roles. For DeJoria, people who focus solely on accumulating money without nurturing these other aspects of life end up feeling empty, even with all the symbols of success around them. He sought to teach others the importance of not being blinded by the desire to earn more at any cost. To him, true prosperity was a combination of elements, money being just one of them. One of the most important lessons John Paul DeJoria learned on his journey was the importance of living in the present and freeing oneself from the weight of the past. To him, the past was something that couldn't be changed, and dwelling on it only delayed progress toward a better future. carrying resentment, guilt, or regrets was like tying a weight to your back that prevented forward movement. DeJoria firmly believed that the path to success involved leaving behind these emotional burdens, forgiving yourself and others, and focusing on what could be done today to build a more promising tomorrow. This wasn't just a theoretical philosophy for him, but something he lived and practiced throughout his life. Over the course of his career, there were many moments when he could have been stuck on past mistakes or people who had let him down. However, DeJoria chose the path of forgiveness and release, understanding that the energy spent on grievances was better used to create new opportunities. He believed that to innovate and grow, it was essential to have a clear mind focused on the present, free from the emotional distractions the past could bring. This practice of living in the present also reflected his broader approach to life. Each day was seen as an opportunity to do something meaningful, to learn, improve, and move forward. By letting go of the weight of what was left behind, DeJoria found that he could dedicate himself with more clarity and energy to his work, family, and projects. In summary, John Paul DeJoria's journey shows us that with resilience, gratitude, and focus, it is possible to overcome any obstacle and achieve success. He teaches us that believing in yourself and maintaining simplicity are essential to achieving your dreams, no matter where you start. Now, if you're truly committed to changing your financial life and achieving prosperity, don't miss the video that will appear on your screen. In it, you'll discover how to escape a life of poverty and get rich in just 6 months, using multiple sources of income. This knowledge is exactly what you need to take the next step and transform your life. Don't let this opportunity pass by, and if you can't watch it now, save it to watch later. The important thing is not to miss this video.